So the draw has just come out for the Shanghai Masters, which is the biggest tournament of the Asian swing for the men's side of things. And it's got a lot of big names playing. There are a lot of names that are also pulled out of this tournament. Let's go have a look at who's not playing. So the withdrawal list is actually pretty long as we're nearing the end of the season. Batista Agut, he's not playing. Dimitrov, Draper, both not playing. Echeverry, Fernley, also not playing. Feast, Fonseca, and Hurkacz are all out of this tournament as well. Monfils, Paul, and Poprin are also out of this tournament. So a lot of names there and a lot of big names as well that are not going to be competing in this tournament. But let's get to the top of the draw because we do have a lot of the top 10 in this tournament. All right, starting at the top of the draw. And of course, we've got 32 seeds in this one as it goes for, 12 days or 10 days this Masters. All the seeds get a bye in the first round. Alcaraz, number 1 seed, coming from Tokyo into this tournament. He gets a bye in the first round. He'll take on either Tien or Kecmanovic in the second round. Then you got Cazot versus Martinez. Winner of that will take on Norrie, the 30th seed. Then you got Fokina, the 18th seed. He'll take on either Rinaldi or a qualifier in that second round. Then you got Wu taking on another qualifier. Winner of that will take on the number 16 seed Medvedev in the second round. So a pretty interesting draw for Alcaraz. The way he's been playing, though, you would expect that he probably gets through this draw and beats all these names. But, there are some tricky names that have tested him in the past. Of course, you got to watch out for Alcaraz. He's playing so well right now. Also got to watch out for Medvedev, trying to get into some form as we end the season. Hasn't had the greatest season, of course, and dropped down the rankings, but could be interesting to see him play against Alcaraz in that fourth round. But also be watching out for Tien. Of course, had a great start to the year and would be really fun to see him take on Alcaraz in that second round and really test his skills against the best player in the world. Next part of the draw, we've got Khachanov, the number 9 seed. He'll take on either Kovacevic or Zhang in the second round. Then you got Van der Zandschulp taking on Borges. Winner of that will take on the number 24 seed Tsitsipas in the second round. Then you got the number 29 seed Nakashima. He'll take on either Myshak or Quinn in the second round. Then you got Ugo Carabelli taking on Atman. Winner of that will take on the number 7 seed Demonor in the second round. This is an interesting draw. A lot of players in here that have been playing well on hard courts over their careers and a couple of unseeded players as well that could be dangerous. Of course, you got to watch out for the seeds. Demonor and Khachanov have been really good over the last couple of months on hard courts, so definitely got to keep an eye on them. Also, Nakashima had a good run this week in Tokyo. But of course, unseeded players, you've got to watch out for Van der Zandschulp. Has been very dangerous against everybody over the last couple of years. And also watch out for Atman. Had a really good run in Beijing this week. Lost to Sinner in the end, but did get a set-off Sinner. So definitely got to watch out for him. Very dangerous guy. Next part of the draw, we've got the number 3 seed Zverev. Gets a bye in the first round. He'll take on either a qualifier or Navone in the second round. Then you've got Rinderknecht versus Medvedev. Winner of that will take on the number 28 seed Mikkelsen in the second round. Then you've got number 23 seed Shapovalov. He'll take on either Jumher or O'Connell in the second round. Then you've got a qualifier taking on Alice. Winner of that will take on the number 15 seed Lehechka in the second round. This is an interesting draw. Kind of feels a little bit open, this draw. But of course, you've got to watch out for Zverev. On paper, it's a good draw. I mean, he's a very high seed, but he's playing all these younger guys, and that's going to be the tricky part, of course. You've got to watch out for Lehechka and Mikkelsen. Have been very, very good this season, and especially in the hard courts. Very, very dangerous for Zverev. Next part of the draw, we've got the number 12 seed Auger-Aliassime. He'll take on either Giron or a qualifier in the second round. Then you got Zhou taking on De Jong. Winner of that will take on the number 17 seed Menchik in the second round. Then you got number 26 seed Tadiri. He'll take on either Bu or Cerundolo in the second round. Then you got Comasanya taking on a qualifier. Winner of that will take on the number 8 seed Musetti in the second round. And this is an interesting draw. Kind of a bit open, it feels like, as well, because 3 of those seeds have been very, very good on the hard courts at different times this year. Of course, you got to watch out for Musetti. Has been really good the last couple of weeks since the US Open on the hard courts, so got to keep on him if he's physically fit. Because you've got to watch out for FAA. Had a great run at the US Open and really pushed Sinner in that semi-final. So let's see if he can continue that form. Also got to watch out for Menchik. Has been very dangerous and of course won Miami at the start of the year. So on the fast hard courts, definitely one to watch out for as well. So it's going to be interesting to see because this draw feels like it's a little bit open. Bottom half of the draw now, we've got the number 6 seed Sheldon is back after getting injured at the US Open. So great to see him. He'll take on either Goffin or Muller in the second round. Then you've got Opelka taking on Bonzi. Winner of that match will take on the number 31 seed Diallo in the second round. Then you got the number 19 seed Cerundolo taking on either Manarino or Berrettini in that second round. Then you got Korda versus Bergs. Winner of that will take on the number 11 seed Ruud in the second round. This is a very interesting draw. Very stacked part of the draw, it feels like, especially the unseeded players. There's some really dangerous ones. Of course, you got to watch out for Sheldon. Let's see how he looks after having a couple of weeks off. Also got to watch out for Ruud. Has been really good over the last couple of weeks and has made the semi-finals this week in Tokyo. So as of the recording of this, he hasn't played Alcaraz yet, but definitely had a good week this week. Also got to watch out for Cerundolo and Diallo. Have been good on hard courts at times this year as well. But the unseeded players, got to watch out for Opelka. Very, very dangerous player on all surfaces. Gotta watch over Berrettini as well. We know how dangerous he can be, but also be watching out for Korda. Made a quarterfinal of the Australian Open not that long ago, and if he's healthy, he's very, very dangerous as well. So this part of the draw feels really, really stacked. Next part of the draw, we've got the number 13 seed Rublev. He gets a bye in the first round. He'll take on either a qualifier or Shevchenko in the second round. Then you got Munar versus Vucevic. Winner of that will take on the number 22 seed Koboli in the second round. Then you got the number 25 seed Tiafoe. He'll take on either Sonigo or a qualifier in the second round. Then you got Cilic taking on Mute. Winner of that will take on the number 4 seed Djokovic in the second round. And of course, Novak Djokovic announcing that he's coming back to play this event. We thought we wouldn't see him for the rest of the year, pretty much. So it's great to see him. He made the final here last year. Of course, you've got to watch over Novak. Got a pretty nice draw as well. I mean, there are some difficult opponents, but you would think that Djokovic could handle most of these guys. Also got to watch over Rublev and Koboli. Definitely have been dangerous this year on hard courts as well. Also Tiafoe. If he's healthy and ready to go, he could really put on maybe a show against Djokovic in that third round if they play. But also got to watch out for Cilic as well. It'd be great to see him win and get to that Djokovic match in the second round and get a bit of a veterans match. And that'd be really fun to watch as well. Next part of the draw, we've got the number 5 seed Fritz. He gets a bye in the first round. He'll take on either Marijan or Wawrinka in the second round. And Stan got a wild card, so great to see him back. Then you got Ovner taking on Nardi. Winner of that will take on the number 32 seed Pirikar in the second round. Then you got the number 21 seed Humbert. He'll take on either Thompson or a qualifier in the second round. Then you got Zhang taking on Baez. Winner of that will take on the number 10 seed Runa in the second round. And this is interesting, this section. It feels open. It definitely feels a bit open in this section. Of course, you got to watch over Fritz. Coming off that amazing Laver Cup performance. Let's see if we can continue that. He's doing really well also in Tokyo this week. So let's see how his confidence goes throughout this tournament. Also got to watch over Runa. Has been very up and down this year, but we know how good he can be. And if he can start putting his consistency together throughout each match, he should be able to go on a bit of a run. But also got to watch out for the Frenchman. Pirikar and Humbert, very dangerous on all surfaces, especially on the quicker surfaces, which Shanghai is. But also keen to see how Wawrinka does. Getting a wild card. We don't know how long Stan's going to play till because he's pushing 40, and we know that generation are all very much at the end of their careers. So whenever Stan gets a wild card into a tournament, it's going to be very fun to watch him. And hopefully he gets a chance to play Fritz in that second round. And the bottom section of the draw, we've got the number 14 seed Bublik. He gets a bye in the first round. He'll take on the winner of Jera or a qualifier in the second round. Then you got Walton versus Bellucci. Winner of that will take on the number 20 seed Mahach in the second round. Then you got the number 27 seed Griekspoor. He'll take on either Brooksby or a qualifier in the second round. Then you got another qualifier taking on Altmaier. Winner of that will take on the number 2 seed Sinner in the second round. It sounds so weird to say the number 2 seed Sinner because he's been the number 1 seed for the best part of a year. But with Alcaraz being number 1, we've got to get used to saying number 2 Sinner for a little bit at least. Of course, you've got to watch out for Sinner. Did win this tournament last year, so defending champion, and he's trying to defend points to keep himself close enough to Alcaraz at that number 1 spot. Also got to watch out for Bublik. We know how dangerous he can be at times this year, and he's had a great 6 months, pushing towards top 10, so really got to watch out for him as well. Also keen to see how Mahach does, and Griekspoor, because both of them can perform well on these hard courts. But also be watching over Brooksby, having a really good week in Tokyo this week, and wasn't in the Laver Cup, or didn't play the Laver Cup, but he was there around those guys and around Andre Agassi and Pat Rafter. So be interesting to see what he actually learned, even though he didn't play, being a part of that winning team. So got to keep an eye on Brooksby as well in this tournament. So there it is. That is the tournament for Shanghai. It is a big event. Of course, it's another 2-week Masters. We've got all these 2-week Masters now. It's going to be interesting to see who can get this one. Of course, Sinner, the defending champion. Djokovic made the final. Can Alcaraz continue his form and maybe finally win that Shanghai Masters? I mean, he's trying to tick off everything in tennis, and he's doing it so quickly. It's like he's got to hurry and he's got somewhere else to be. But let me know in the comments below who's going to win this tournament. You'd say it's probably between one of those 3 guys, maybe. I mean, unless something happens, of course. Maybe Fritz. What do you reckon? Maybe he could have a run here, and if he can get through Sinner in that quarterfinal, maybe it's his turn to go on and win a big 1,000 trophy after winning Indian Wells a few years back. But there it is. That's a Shanghai Masters, and it starts in a couple of days.